Welcome to episode 16 of Surviving the Week, where each week I tell you about all the things that made me want to hit the fuck it button and the things that helped me survive it. And joining me from all the way across the pond is DeAnne Leslie, relationship and detachment coach. Hello. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really excited.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, what's been like a standout positive for you this week?
Man, just making it through.
Yeah.
I guess one of the best things I'm so excited about is here in the States, the weather has completely went up.
Yeah.
You know, we had a pretty cold winter. I'm in the DC area. So we had
Okay.
a very, very cold winter, and it's basically summertime now.
Amazing. That's really good.
Yeah, so
We've
lots
had
of
some
time out.
sunshine.
Yeah,
It's
lots of time outside, lots of time with the kids outside doing different things. So
yeah, that's really good.
love it, love it, love it.
I'm enjoying the fact that I can kick the kids out in the garden when we get home from school. Because it's like I've tidied up, and if you go outside, you can't ruin it. Go make a mess in the
Yeah,
garden, play with all the toys out there. They stay out there, and then the living area can actually stay clean, which is good.
exactly. Definitely.
Yeah, that's it's definitely nice now that the sun is out. Although, like the British weather at this time of year, we have April showers, which is you just
Yeah.
random spots of rain. So it's like it's sunny in the morning, then it's raining. We had a random hailstorm the other day out of nowhere, and then it's hot and sunny again. British weather
Yeah.
is crazy. There's a reason we talk about it all the time. I went to a salt therapy last night, which is my big positive for the week. It's the second time I've been. My friend does like a salt therapy massage, and she's teamed up with the lady who runs the salt therapy room. And so you go for an hour, sit in the salt room, and then get either a hand or a foot massage and a shoulder rub whilst you're there, and it's really relaxing and really helps you reset.
Yeah, you'll have to tell me more about this because I'm
It's
so
so
interested.
good.
So, what do? You go in and they put you in a bath of salt,
No, so the salt is on the floor, and then they also have this machine that's like pumping salt into the air. So you're breathing it in, which helps like get all the toxins out of your
Yeah.
lungs and stuff. It's got like a lot of health benefits, especially for like people with allergies and stuff. You just relax. Like they've got these like cozy blankets and an eye mask, and you just sort of like snuggle down
Oh,
and relax. But the room has to be quite cold to keep the
oh,
salt in the air. That's what she said anyway. I don't know the
yeah.
science of it, but like it has to stay at a certain temperature for the salt. But because you're in the blanket, like it's just really cozy and nice. And they've started doing
Yeah.
like movie nights and stuff, which is kind of cool. So you can just go
Wow.
and chill. But yeah, I think they're popping up everywhere at the moment. So yeah, definitely try and see if you can find one near you.
Yeah.
It's just so relaxing. And the one that I go to also has a play area for the kids, where
Oh my gosh.
it's like a
Wow.
sand pit, but salt,
Yeah.
so it's cleansing.
Wow.
And yeah, so I need to take the kids there because I think
Yeah. So your friend owns this place?
my friend's friend owns it, and then my
Like,
friend
okay.
goes in to do
Okay.
the massage sessions.
Wow.
But yeah, it's
Lucky
just a
you. Oh my
I
gosh.
know it's such a nice atmosphere, and it's like it's only like 30 something pounds. I don't know what the exchange rate would be to dollars.
Yeah, maybe $45. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
No, especially when you like it's an hour and you get a treatment whilst you're there. That's like it's a huge thing.
Yeah, that's a win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so it's like a nice little treatment when I can't afford to go get a full massage from my friend. Because she gives the best massages and I go to her as often as I can afford to. But sometimes, some months you can't always manage it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was really nice yesterday to just sort of relax after a busy week.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Well, hopefully I can do that this weekend because
Yes, you need to.
that is definitely how I like to spend my time. I'm all about massages and
Yeah.
And yeah, the different therapies, aromatherapy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
wow,
You
good
need
for
to find
you.
one. It was so good. So good. You definitely need to find one near you. Do you believe in bad luck?
Huh. Do I believe in bad luck? Well, I would say, when in my younger days, I definitely did. Now, ever since I've kind of, dipped and dabbled into different, methods of like energetics and things like that, I do feel like everything, life itself, it's just a big roller coaster. It's like up and down,
Yeah.
up and down. Um, me personally, I feel like bad luck, um, it's things that we kind of, if you're constantly thinking about bad things happening, usually, at least in my case, they end up happening.
Yeah.
Um, which is why I try to stay as positive as possible because I don't need any more negativity
No.
in my life. Now, can you prevent all of it? No, of course not. There's no way you can have a completely positive life 24/7, 365, But as far as bad luck, I mean, I guess, let's say you go out and you hit someone's car. I mean, yeah, I mean, little small things. But for the most part, I feel like it's just the ebbs and flows of life.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean. I think like I go through phases where it feels like I have a lot of bad luck, like things just keep on happening and it's like random stuff. So like there was one point where I had like 6 injuries in a week from just stupid things, like walking into stuff and um just generally ridiculous stuff kept happening. I kept walking into furniture and it was like, what is happening to me? It felt like
Yeah.
the furniture was out to get me. that was that was the vibe. But it does seem to have calmed down. My only things this week, which I don't know if these can count. There's one that's definitely feels like bad luck, which is I hit my head. I can't remember what on. I remember that I was on the phone to my friend when it happened, and I ended up with like quite a big lump on my head for a couple of days just here. I think it's gone now. Um, I can't remember what I hit on, and neither can she. We were talking about it when the bruise came up, and she was like, "I remember you hitting your head, but where were you?" I was like, "I have no idea. I have no
Oh
memory."
man.
Um, so yeah, that's just sort of like a random thing. I suppose though
Yeah.
that could just be down to me being very clumsy and not paying attention.
Well, I mean, they say that, things happen for a reason. So I don't know. Maybe you needed a reminder about
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, maybe the reason is that I need to be more careful about where I'm walking and
Mm.
stuff. That's a reminder to be more
And to
cautious.
slow down. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the two other things this week were that my paperwork drawer in my kitchen where I just kind of hide all the
Hmm.
random paperwork that needs to be filed because I'm quite unorganized. I just shove it in a drawer and it's like I'll do it one day. It collapsed into the cupboard underneath, which is a cereal cupboard.
Because
So
it was so heavy.
yeah, it's
Hmm.
collapsed and I had to like put the cereal out on the kitchen side until I dealt with it. And by dealt with it, I mean I put all of the paperwork that fell out into a plastic bag and put it in a different cupboard.
Yeah.
It's not today's problem.
So,
It can wait.
so what are you going to do with the cupboard?
I don't know. It's just like it's one of those things where it's like that's just going to go on the back burner for right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we'll work it out. The drawer is back together, and the cereal's back in the cupboard, but I do need to actually deal with the paperwork situation.
Oh.
Because
Do you shred your papers?
it needs filing. You're meant to keep stuff for 5 years here,
Okay.
so yeah, I need to just file it all, which I'm really bad at doing.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, I don't file at all. I'm like you. I have an area where I put all my mail, junk mail, papers from the kids. Um, I don't look at it, basically. I mean, obviously the bills I'll take out and
yeah,
pay, but all the junk mail I'll just leave there. And then what I try to do is after a few months, shred it all. Just shred it,
Yeah.
or yeah, trash it if it doesn't have, any personal information on there and stuff.
Yeah, like junk I just tend
Um,
to put straight into the recycling. So like
mm,
any like advert leaflets,
right, right.
that goes straight into the recycling. So it's just whatever other random letters I get that you're supposed to keep, but that I'm never going to look at again. Like they're just going to sit there and gather dust. So much for being in a paperless society. I still seem to accumulate so much paper, which is
I
weird.
know.
It's weird because there's a running joke between me and the postman, the mailman, where he walks past me every day and has no post for me. So how do I have so much paperwork? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, where's it coming from?
Yeah.
Is it you?
And then I was doing bath time with my toddler. She's 2.5.
Mhm.
And she threw the sponges out of the bath. And I was like, no, we don't do that. I've picked them up, put them back in. And then I've gone to stand, not realized how wet the floor was, and fallen. And I've smashed my arm on the sink as I tried to like catch myself, which wasn't great.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah, that sounds like it
Yeah,
hurts.
I've got a couple of bruises from that.
Oh,
And then it was
yeah.
like just trying to like stay calm and be like, okay, bath time is over now. let's go to bed, and then I can go sit down and have a cry about my injuries.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would be crying.
Yeah, it was really hard. It like really stung. I think the shock of it sometimes as well makes it worse.
Mm,
And it was just like, again, that was something where if I had just paid more attention to how wet the floor was and been a bit more careful and not moved quickly, then I could have prevented it. But it still feels like quite
yeah.
unlucky for that to happen.
Yeah, it happens. It happens, especially with toddlers. And like you said, throwing things out. Yeah, I definitely get it.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you put some ice on it.
I don't have ice, I don't think. It's not really a
Oh,
thing that we normally have. Um,
really? No ice anywhere to keep things cold?
I have a freezer,
Yeah.
but the only stuff in there is like chicken.
Really? So
Yeah.
you don't have an ice machine or ice
No,
cubes?
ice machines are pretty rare. That's like fancy. Fancy people have ice machines.
Really?
Yeah. Our normal fridge freezer is half the size of like what I would consider an American fridge freezer that I would see
Oh,
like on
okay.
TV. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, I only know a couple of people with ice machines. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It seems to be like quite there's so many like random little cultural differences in day-to-day
That's why I
life.
love, yeah, that's what I love learning about it.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's a shocker. Like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Especially in terms of like dealing with the heat and stuff. We don't really have
Hmm.
anything in place to deal with extreme heat or extreme cold. Like we're just not we're built for just mild weather. And we really should be more prepared for things by this point, but people just aren't. Like so we don't have like AC in our homes. Um like that's just not a thing at all.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
we just
You're just running the fans. Is that it?
yeah, just fans
Okay.
and just having like the doors open and stuff.
Yeah.
But then we all have central heating for
Okay.
like radiators and stuff. Because we're just we're more prepared for the cold, I guess. But even then,
Hmm.
like when it snows, everything stops. It all comes to a standstill because we're just like we don't know how to cope with it. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah.
You mean in terms of like work and going out and stuff
Yeah,
like that? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like there have been times where like when I was younger and I didn't drive, like I got snowed in, and by snowed in I mean 2 inches of snow. And I was like, I can't go out. I called my boss. I was like, there's no buses. Like, I can't get
Yeah.
there unless you want to
Wow.
pay for a cab to get me to work. Like, I cannot get to you. I don't know what you want me to do.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
I'm assuming the school system shut down too.
A lot of it, yeah, because it'll be that teachers can't get in, so
Yeah.
they don't have the
Okay.
staff. But you have to wait until like 8 o'clock in the morning to find out whether or not the school's going to be open.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So when I was working full time, my eldest would start breakfast club at 7:30. And so there were times where I would drop her at breakfast club and then get a notification saying that school was closed and have to go get her. Yeah,
Oh,
which is crazy.
wow.
So
She's already at the
yeah,
school,
she's
but now they're closed.
she's over there having breakfast, and they're just like, no, actually, we don't have enough staff. So any kids that are here need
Yeah.
to be picked up.
Have to go.
So
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, I mean, it's easier now because I'm a stay-at-home mum. Obviously, if the school's shut, it's not
Yeah.
a huge impact. But yeah, when I was working, things like that would make it really, really difficult. So
Right.
I worked full time for quite a long time. So
Oh, okay.
how old are your little ones?
7 and 8.
Oh wow, really close together.
Yeah.
I'm
It wasn't planned.
it happens. Mine are all quite spread out. So I've got my eldest is nearly 15,
Okay.
and then my middle one is nearly 7, and then I've got my 2.5-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got like
Oh,
quite big gaps, which also wasn't planned, but it's just kind of the way things just
yeah.
happen the way they happen, don't they? So it's a minimal
That's
control.
life.
Yeah,
But do
exactly.
you get some help with your older one helping the baby, helping the youngest one?
Sort of. Sometimes it depends what mood she's in, how hormonal she's feeling that day. And also,
Yeah.
my eldest is autistic, so if she's in sensory overload, it's best to just like let her go sit in her room,
Yeah.
so that we
My
don't.
oldest son is autistic as well.
Yeah. So like you know what it's like when they're getting to
Yeah.
burnout point, and it's just kind of like, okay, let's go find a way to regulate before this
Yep.
blows up
Yep.
too bad.
Yep.
Um, but she will help out with stuff, like if I'm in the middle of doing dinner and the little one's crying, then she'll go check on
Okay.
her for me and stuff. But I don't know if she'll ever be at a point where she's mature enough to look after them. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I thought by this age I would be able to get her to like babysit whilst I go do the food shop. And
Yeah.
yeah, we're nowhere near that. Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Got it.
But it is what it is, and we just have to sort of keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Just, yeah, take it one day at a time. My son actually was, he started off being nonverbal. So, we were really worried about that. He got kicked out of a few schools because they were just like, yeah, this is not for him.
Mm,
And then so he was placed. Now he's in the local school here, but of course, he needs a lot of support in the classroom. Speech is one of his biggest things. He can talk now, but he is not able to articulate the way you and I
yeah.
are. He's not able to explain things. He'll miss out key details. But yeah, like you said, we just try each day to
Yeah.
do as best as we can and make sure everyone's regulated.
Yeah.
Make sure everyone's as happy as possible, as calm as possible.
Yeah. And there's not a whole lot of calm with kids. So it's hard work. But that's amazing that he does have speech now. That must have
Yeah,
been such a huge win.
yeah, yeah. It was. It was, and part of me, his father is bilingual, so we thought maybe it was the introducing of the Spanish language. Maybe that's what was holding him back. So we actually don't. Well, yeah, we don't really speak Spanish to him at all. Everything's English.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was in fact it or not, but I definitely know, yeah, at age 3, he wasn't really saying much.
Yeah.
Because shortly after that, that's when they were like, I think you need to get him evaluated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't deny it anymore. Of course I was like, no, 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 it's not true. There's no one in our family that has autism.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I can totally understand that. I I was the opposite where I kept on saying, well, she just does that because she's like me. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, no, she's just picked that up from me. That's just learned
Hmm.
behavior because she's my child. She's just like me. That's all it is.
Right,
And then as
right.
she got older and like, she was probably about 7 and her friends were like developing emotionally and she wasn't. And at school, like if they sat on the carpet to read a story, she was like rolling around on the carpet rather than just sitting nicely. And I kept saying to them, is something wrong? Should I be worried? And it was just, she's just a daydreamer. She's just,
Mm.
away with the fairies, it's
Yeah,
fine. And I was like,
yeah.
yeah, but that's not normal. And I was the one going, okay, I'm seeing there's something wrong here. And then when I started doing research and I was looking back, I was like, oh wow, there were actually a lot of signs that I didn't
Wow.
notice, like with issues with food and
Hmm.
clothing.
Hmm.
She was terrified of people wearing masks or like Halloween makeup. Even if
Oh, yeah.
like if she watched her cousins get their makeup done for Halloween and it would be something simple like a white face. She could watch them have it done and then once it was done she would freak out. Or like people covering their hair even would make her really
Yeah.
panic. And so looking back, I'm like, there were a lot of signs, and I
Hmm.
just didn't really link them together. And it was quite a
Hmm.
hard fight to get her a diagnosis. She didn't get diagnosed till she was 12.
Oh, okay. So is the system, is it difficult to get kids diagnosed there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially these days because people are getting more diagnosis because people are
I
more
know.
educated and they're
Yeah.
noticing these things and they're like, okay, well, I've realized my kid needs help too. Um, and so because we have the National Health Service, which is free,
Okay.
the more people on the waiting list, the longer it's going to take.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not the resources, there's not the funding to do it, and like there's been so many funding cuts that the
Yeah.
service is just since COVID they haven't been able
Right.
to recover.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that had a huge impact, but we just have to hope that at some point things will get better and there'll be someone in power that is really serious about making changes to improve it.
Right. Right.
That's
Same thing here.
yeah. That's what we're scared of. So how do you cope with balancing family life and then like everything else that you have to do with your coaching and stuff? That was a big deep breath.
It's it's definitely a challenge sometimes. Obviously the biggest thing I do, I try to get as much done when the kids are out at school. Unfortunately, my son gets done a little earlier than my daughter, so I kind of my day gets cut pretty short. But I'll be honest with you, Cecilia, there's been times when I've just put them in front of the screen while I go upstairs and do what I have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I am guilty of that.
Yeah.
There's been times I fed them oatmeal for dinner because I had to rush to a meeting, or do something on my laptop. Um, so I mean, I'll be transparent. I sometimes they get a little ignored. I try to make it up on the weekends though,
Yeah.
by spending as much time with them outdoors, doing different activities. But during the week when I have things going on with the business, they do have to kind of fend for themselves as much as they can. Like
I
I said, the food I will feed them, but yeah, it's like oatmeal.
I love that. So when I was working full time, my daughter's favorite dinner was cereal.
Oh,
And that's what we did all the time. And
yeah.
my brother asked her once, "Oh, what do you want for dinner? What's your favorite dinner?" And she said cereal. And he looked at me with absolute disgust. He was like, "You've been giving her cereal for dinner?" I was like,
I know.
we get home at 7 p.m. at that point. Like, we were leaving the house at 7 a.m., getting home at 7 p.m. She was having 3 meals at nursery. Like, cereal was fine. And like now there are times where I'm like, you know what, we're just going to do cereal today. And they love it.
Yeah.
They think it's fun.
As long as they're fed, that's all that
Yeah.
matters. And honestly, that's what the pediatrician told us, was that, of course you want to keep it a healthy, balanced meal, but as long as they get some kind of calories,
Yeah.
then yeah.
That's
And it's not an everyday thing.
no, exactly. And we saw the dietitian recently for my eldest because she really struggles with food and her safe foods are getting less and less. And they said, you need to just let her have whatever she wants to have so that she's eating.
Okay.
And I was like,
Hey.
okay, cool. So I've started doing it where each week I give her £10 and she picks out like her food for the week for breakfast and lunch because she was eating at school and they changed something and now she won't touch any of the food.
Yeah.
So she's now got her own food for the week and she's actually eating. So I didn't realize until we went to see the dietitian, she admitted that she was going all day and wasn't eating till dinner time. And I didn't know. I thought she was eating.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed that will just make things a lot easier going forward.
Right. Just stick with the foods that she wants to eat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's the same thing over and over and over again.
They literally said, like, I don't care if she's having a chocolate bar for breakfast.
Yeah.
If she's eating breakfast, that's what matters. And that is it.
Yep.
You know,
Exactly.
they're fed, they're clothed, they're clean.
Exactly.
They're only
I'm there with you. Yeah.
Yeah. They're only like mildly traumatized. They'll be fine. That's for them to work out in therapy one day.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, exactly. Oh dear. It's all fun and games, isn't it? Trying to balance, like, I mean, even though like I'm at home, I still find it difficult to balance spending time with them and like looking after the house. And then obviously I do this as well. It's I think no matter what you do, like I've worked full time, I've worked part time, I've been at home. At every stage I've struggled. It's always difficult. There's always, too many plates to juggle, and you just have to do what you can and hope that you're not fucking them up too badly.
Yeah. I just prioritize what needs to be prioritized. So I'll tell you, when you mentioned house, that's probably what gets neglected the most. So I try to keep everything as minimal as possible, and not collect so many items and books and toys and stuff. I try to give away as much, which I actually need to do. I try to give away as much as I need to. And then when my mother comes over to help with the kids, sometimes I let her clean. Because she has this, it's not a diagnosed OCD, but she does
have like a compulsion.
That's her way of coping with life. She's kind of always been like that. And so I let her. And so some people, kind of scold me and say, you let your 67-year-old mother clean your house. Well, yeah, because first of all, she looks down on me because I do keep, I won't say a dirty house, but it's not up to her standards. And even if I do mop and sweep and everything, she still comes in and does it right behind me. Which is basically a stab in the neck to me, because it's like, I just did that. She's like, well, you didn't do it good enough. Fine. So but if she didn't come over to help with the kids and then to help with cleaning, it would look pretty bad, because that's what gets neglected the most.
I totally know that feeling. So you see this house here, this little playhouse?
Uh-huh.
That's where my laundry is. Because the pile on the sofa was taller than the house. The sofa's back
Oh,
there, and the pile was taller than the house. So I was like, it can go inside the house, and that's just where it's going to live for now. It's all clean. It's clean
right.
laundry,
Just have to put it away.
but
Yeah.
it's got to
Yeah.
go somewhere. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but like even so, my younger two stay at my husband's 3 nights a week because we live
Okay.
separately. And so when they're here, I'm like, there's literally no point cleaning. They're
Yeah.
just going to
I know.
destroy it. So if I tend to wait, and then Thursday is like my cleaning day where I get on top of it. And then I can sort of enjoy it for a day before they come home.
Right. Right.
Um, so yeah, I think, but then when they are here, it gets so bad that I'm like, why have I let this happen? But then if I'm busy cleaning when they're here, I feel like I'm neglecting them emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's you're never gonna get it to a point where you feel like you're doing everything correctly without burning
No, I think
yourself out.
right. And I think that's the key thing is to do whatever feels good to you so that you're not burning yourself out.
Yeah.
Because once you burn yourself out, then what? I mean, you're basically just a muddle, or just a pile of puddle that can't really do much of
Yeah.
anything, So yeah, if it works to just wait until they leave and then clean, that's what I would do too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Although yesterday I accidentally ordered my shopping for whilst I was out at the salt therapy.
Mhm.
And so I had to call my husband and be like, you've got to come wait for the shopping for me. So him and the kids had to come over, and I had cleaned, and like they were here for an hour and a half, and it looked like a disaster zone. I was like, how did they destroy it that fast? I'm currently redecorating the kids' room because they've covered the walls in crayon. And so I'm like, right, I'm gonna attack it, but I'm just gonna do a little section at a time so that it's manageable. So yesterday I thought, right, I'm gonna do this one little section of wall. And I'm starting a new YouTube series where I show the development of decorating
Ah.
it. But I didn't even manage to finish this one little section of wall. I'm like, how? What did I do? That like, how did I not manage to finish that? I really thought I'd be able to get it done in a day, and just I just haven't been able to. It's,
Yeah.
but that's why I keep projects small,
Oh,
manageable, and I'm trying to like make sure I do the housework in between doing the decorating so that I don't feel like I've got carried away and let things slide.
okay. Man, that makes me want to do some projects of my own, but I just don't have the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like I needed something like artistic because I've been getting the urge to dye my hair.
I saw.
And people keep on telling me leave it alone. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll leave it alone. I'll go paint a wall instead.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Yeah, I love the blonde on you. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
thank you. I'm gonna try, and I'm trying to let my roots grow
Uh-huh.
and just try and embrace my natural hair, but
Right.
I haven't had
Oh,
my
well, good
natural
for
hair for a
you.
while. So
Yeah, I still, well, I'm a little bit older, so I'm graying, which I am not
you,
ready
I
for.
cannot see
So
any grey in your hair. Trust me, most
because
of
I've
this
just
is
dyed it.
grey.
That's why.
But
Yeah, I hope I can get to a point, and I know it'll happen eventually, but I'm just not there yet.
yeah,
I'm not there with going full gray and letting it all grow out. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm intrigued to see how much of my hair is grey, because
Oh,
because it
uh-huh.
sort of blends in with the blonde,
Right,
so it's
right.
quite hard to tell. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm intrigued to see how much of it is grey now, because it's been 2 years of me having it bleached and coloured. Be interesting. I don't know if I'll manage it. I reckon at some point I'm gonna give in and just be like, no, I'm making it some ridiculous rainbow colour. But at least it's all entertainment, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
It's quite funny. There's a couple of people who sort of like watch my videos, but they don't tend to comment. And then every time I post about my hair, guaranteed there's these like three people who will always comment and be like, leave it alone. What did you do? Stop. What was the like aha moment where you went, okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I can help other people with your own story.
Yeah. My biggest aha moment, I guess, I don't even know if I really have an aha moment. I just know, with everything that I've been through, in my marriages, because I've been through two marriages
Yeah.
that were unsuccessful. Um, and then just, seeing other people, whether it's friends, family, no, not so much family, but more so friends, um, going through hard times in their relationship and just, I guess the biggest thing that's always hit me in the heart is just, people that feel like I'll never move on, going through a difficult relationship. So, and this can be either, a boyfriend or a marriage. Um, the marriage or relationship ends, and then just feeling like this is it. This is it. I'm a failure, and no one will ever love me. No one will ever accept me. I have kids. I have this. That. I'm damaged goods. And that's really, maybe I guess you could say that was my aha moment when I'm like, no, I need to share my story with people and let them know that there is hope. It is 100% possible
Yeah.
for you to, go through a breakup or a separation, divorce, build yourself back up. Because I'm not really a big fan of the jumping from relationship to relationship thing, but build yourself back up with your, in terms of your self-respect, your self-love, and being able to radiate so high that you start attracting people to you. And so that's how I kind of, got into coaching, started creating the page itself. Um, yeah, and just spreading the message to anyone that wants to hear,
I think that's
because
like
I know it's hard.
it's something that I think people definitely need. Um, I mean, I've definitely felt like that many times. I'm damaged goods. I can't do this again. Um, right before I met my husband, I sold all of the baby stuff that I'd been saving from my eldest, and I was like, I give up. It's never gonna happen. I'm never gonna have any more kids. I'm never gonna find love again. I'm gonna die alone. Um, and I just give up. And I was 26, and even at that point, I was like, no,
Yeah,
there's no hope here. And I think it is a common theme. Like when you come out of a really intense relationship, you do feel just kind of lost and like you're not sure how
yeah.
to rebuild.
We are still legally married,
Yeah.
even though I've dated. One of the things that I realized is, bringing another man, whether we moved in with him, whether he moved in with us, I don't know if I really want to do that with my kids because they're so young.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they adore their father. I mean, he is their knight in shining armor. They're heroes. So yeah, I don't know if I really want to do that. But I have dated. I did meet a really nice guy who, started talking about marriage and stuff when the appropriate time came. He wanted to get married. And then, yeah, there was nothing wrong with him. I think, there's a certain process that happens, after you've healed and you have clearer boundaries. That is the big
Yeah.
thing. Your boundaries are super, super tight and your standards are so high. There were some things financially that I saw about him. And I was like, no, I don't want this. I don't want to get involved with him, and the wounded side of me is still like, but he loves you, look at what he's doing for you. Look how much he's pouring out onto you, which he was, and I'm so grateful for. Actually, I spoke to him just last week. I am so grateful that, I met someone who was so kind and generous and
Yeah.
loving, which was what I wanted. But now that I have these boundaries and these standards, I'm not going to settle anymore. I'm not going to settle. And if that means I end up alone, I'm really okay with that because, in my eyes, I kind of got already everything I already wanted.
Yeah.
Because that was my thing. Was as a kid, I wanted the marriage, I wanted the white picket fence, I wanted the kids, I wanted, well, I ended up getting all of that. I have a home,
Yeah.
I have my kids, So if love, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You definitely, one of the biggest eye openers for me was I didn't think I would meet anyone that was good to me. I didn't think I would meet anyone that would accept me because someone had brainwashed me into thinking you have kids. No one's going to want a woman that has two kids. That is a lie.
Yes, that
That
is a
is a
massive lie.
lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, do you have to proceed with caution? Yes, of
Yeah.
course. You don't just let anybody near you or your kids, but there is a man that wants a woman that, even though she has kids, there is a man that wants a woman, even though she's been through a divorce. There is a man that wants a woman, even though she's dealt with, XYZ issue from her past. I think
Yeah.
it's just all about growth for yourself, love for yourself. That's really important. And you will naturally start to attract people around you. I mean, I've seen it, I've experienced it.
Yeah. I think
So that's just what I want people to know.
like learning, I mean, people say all the time, don't they, that you have to learn to love yourself first.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably one of the hardest things that I have tried to do. That's one of those like hurdles for me that I can't seem to do. It was my goal for the year was to learn
Mhm.
how to, you know, how to love myself and be content within myself.
Yeah, you just said the key word there, being content with yourself,
Yeah.
Um, the first one of the first things I focused on, like for me, and it's different for every woman, but for me, I didn't feel attractive enough because I'm not thin. I have flabby arms and cellulite all over my legs. I felt like men want someone who's a little, more like these, what do you call them? Gym rats?
Oh yeah.
Gym,
Yeah. Jim Bunny.
gym, whatever, and so I had to, work on being content with myself and telling myself, look, DeAnne, if you don't like something about yourself, work on it. So I got a gym membership. I was, trying different methods. Have I lost all the weight? No, I haven't. But in the process of seeing even just a little change, even if it's 2 or 3 pounds, I'm like, if I really stick to this, it'll work out.
Yeah.
You know,
But
Another
it's
thing I did
better
was started.
doing something that's where you're doing small and consistent rather than some sort of crazy diet or crazy exercise plan that you're never going to be able to maintain. If you
Yeah,
found something you can maintain, then that is going to have a big impact long term, even if you don't
right,
see immediate results, because
right,
that's going to be more beneficial in the end.
right, right. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I would just start really small and just slowly work at everything I was unhappy with myself about.
Yeah.
I would just slowly work. I wouldn't try to accomplish everything at once, just slowly take piece by piece by piece. Um, I'll even tell you, like, another thing was my hair. After the kids, I lost a lot of hair.
Yeah.
My hair was thinning really bad. And I was ashamed of it. I wouldn't, take photos. I didn't want to be posted on anyone's page.
Yeah.
I even looked into hair transplantation, anything to try to help me. And thank God, actually, someone said, and this is a little embarrassing, but they're like, have you tried Rogaine? And I'm like, Rogaine? That's for men that are balding.
Oh,
I don't know if you've
oh,
heard of that or not.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I feel like I have heard of it, but it just took me a minute to process what it was. But like, yeah, I've seen like people have told me because my hair's extremely thin, um, minoxidil, which is
Yes, that's what it is.
yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah,
So I was like, all right, and I did it, and my hair started growing back. I started getting a little bit more volume, which helped with my self-esteem,
yeah.
So I would just chip away at little things. Whatever I was irritated with myself about, I would just slowly start to chip away. And then, like you said, back to that word content, having to just be content with who you are. I'm never going to be perfect, so I can get that thought out of my head. You're
Yeah.
never going to be perfect, but just enough to feel happy with yourself to even be able to walk out of the house.
Well, now I know that that
Yeah.
treatment works for your hair. I might actually
Yes.
have to try
Yes.
it. I think I'm gonna have to give it a go because, like, I mean, this is my entire ponytail. It's
Yep. That's
extremely
how.
thin.
That's pretty much how mine was
Yeah,
looking. Yeah.
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 It's
And still is. Yeah.
I've always had very thin hair. Like people attack me for my hair quite a lot online. But it's always been very thin. So I'm like, people are like, "Oh,
Mhm.
you've destroyed your hair." I'm like, it was like this. This isn't new. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's definitely it's a little bit worse. I've had some breakage, so it's quite short. But the thickness, it's always been
Yeah.
like that. And
Yeah.
definitely having kids definitely made it worse. Each one
Yeah.
took a little bit more of my hair, especially like as women, our hair is something that we're taught is a very important aspect of beauty. And so
Right.
not feeling like your hair is good enough, I think it impacts a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It definitely,
Yeah.
I mean, my hair carries a lot of weight these days, like in terms of the color, like not feeling quite uncomfortable with having my brunette hair. So, in terms of like a mental health check in, mainly I've just been chaotic this week with back to school because our kids had 2 weeks off for Easter and they've gone back this
Oh,
week. And so, like, trying to get back into routine, I feel like my brain is just scrambled and that's been really difficult. Um, but then yesterday, I drove past the whore. That is her dedicated name. That's what I call her. And like, I would never normally look at her, but I accidentally looked, and she was like death staring at me when I looked up, and I accidentally made eye contact for a split second, and then I vomited like instantly. Um, so that was pretty horrible, but I didn't cry. I didn't cry.
yeah.
I didn't have a panic attack, sort of, not in the way that I normally do. Normally, my reaction is, hyperventilating, crying. This time it was just more like shock, and then my body had a very visceral reaction in that I threw up.
Yeah.
Um, which I think says a lot about how deeply ingrained the trauma is in my body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that definitely impacted me because it's also something that's quite difficult for people to understand and empathize with, so it's hard to sort of explain I accidentally made eye contact with someone and like the trauma is so deep that I threw up. Like that's
Yeah.
not something a lot of
Yeah.
people can comprehend. How has your mental health been this week? How are you feeling?
This week actually wasn't too bad. And like I said, I think a lot of it has to do with the sunshine. Um, because yeah, when it's dark and gloomy, that's when I kind of get down
Yeah,
to the sand.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, when I'm able to go out, like that's my happy place is just being able to be outside, not being cooped up in this house, being able to watch little insects. And I really try to find beauty in like all these little small
yeah.
things, insects, kids playing outside. Even the drivers, like the UPS and FedEx drivers, doing their runs. So this week was pretty good. I can't really complain too much.
Good. It's good.
Yeah.
I think the sunshine always helps. It's bit of vitamin D, a bit of good energy to just,
Yeah.
it brightens
It,
everyone
it
up.
it really does. It really does. And I when I sit out in the sun, like I really like imagine I am just sucking up good energy from the sun,
Yeah.
because you can feel it, right? You can
Yeah.
feel the warmth and everything on you. So that's just like how I mentally imagine it. And then I'm like, okay, I am filled up with good vibes and good energy. And
Ironically, when I was studying politics when I was a teenager, we were asked, did we want to do political theory or American politics? And I was the only person who voted for theory. And I kicked off because I didn't want to study American politics. I had no interest in it. And now I talk about it every single week. My understanding is that Congress is trying to get a cognitive exam done on Trump, and that they're also trying, or someone's trying to start a process to introduce a new law to have him removed.
really, see, this is new to me.
That's so interesting, because I think, especially because you said you're in the DC area, right?
I'm in the DC area, but I'll be honest, Cecilia, I can't keep up. It's coming so
It's
fast.
so, yeah,
I can't keep up.
there's so
Yeah.
much happening every day. There's something new, and it's like wow, okay, this is a lot.
Yeah.
And like his Jesus photo. I
How, yeah, that, and I'm glad that some of his supporters, threw backlash at him. Why would you do something like that? I mean, you really in your cuckoo brain think you are some savior
yeah,
to the people? You think you're saving people?
yeah, it's madness. And like, so I being Church of England, I was raised to believe that like being Catholic was quite bad and the Catholic Church was quite bad. And now I'm
Oh.
rooting for the Catholic Pope. I'm like, you know what? He's right. That's a good guy right there. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. it's,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. But I
it's
think
madness.
Pope Leo pretty much said that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he pretty much said that, you know, uh, what you're doing is blasphemy. I mean, God does not support someone who incites wars with other country, that creates chaos
Yeah.
and confusion. The Bible clearly says that is what the devil does. Is the devil creates chaos and confusion.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's when Trump went back and said, threw his hand up at Pope Leo. But yeah,
That's good.
this is out of hand. But you're saying now that that they're going to try to
Yeah.
put in a law to get him removed.
Apparently, there are steps being taken now to try and get him removed. But the problem is, obviously, he controls so many people
Yeah.
that actually getting anything passed is going to be the
Right.
hurdle. So we,
Yeah.
like, universally across the globe, we're all just keeping our fingers crossed that
Right. Right. Right.
something is done. Because it's like, watching it from overseas, it's really scary watching what's
Yeah.
been happening. And
Yeah.
I think we're all sort of sitting there going, why is no one doing anything? And I know there's been like the No Kings protests and stuff, but the fact that the actual government hasn't been doing anything I mean, it must be fascinating for anyone who's studying history right now.
Right.
It's a play-by-play.
I think the reason why no one's doing anything about this is because he's paying all of them.
Yeah.
He has them under collar and leash so tightly that no one wants to turn against him. Why? Because they're going to lose their money. Everything is this.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
I mean, he does have a habit of getting rid of people that turn on him.
Right.
You know,
Right.
people mysteriously disappear and stuff
Right.
from what we know from the Epstein files. You know,
Right.
he makes
Right.
problems go away, and that's got to
Yeah.
be scary. There is a little bit of hope that maybe something's going to happen soon, and we just have to keep our fingers crossed that it's sooner rather than later.
Cecilia, I don't think there's any hope. I think what's going to have to happen is, and God, please forgive me, but I think he's either going to have to pass, um, or wait until his time is up.
Yeah.
I don't think anything is going to get done while he's still in office.
Yeah.
Um,
I think, unfortunately, you're probably right. And I do think it will be a case of that he passes away because, I mean, a lot of medical professionals believe he has dementia and that he is quite close to the end anyway.
oh, okay. I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
I know there was some spoof about him being in one of the local hospitals, but I think that
Yeah.
ended up being,
Yeah. That was a
yeah,
stunt, unfortunately.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, there it does seem like he's, you know, coming close to the end in terms of how developed
yeah.
the dementia is. So like him saying that the picture of him as Jesus was him as a doctor. So his I think it's the press secretary came out and was like the image was doctored. And it's like, oh my God, that's what you told him to say. You told him to say the image was doctored, and instead he said,
Doctored.
I'm a doctor, because he doesn't understand anything anymore.
Yeah.
Like the
Oh
man's
my
lost his mind.
gosh.
As scary behavior, like to have someone who is so unpredictable
I know.
running one
It
of the most
it's
powerful
it
countries. Like it must be. I would imagine it's quite scary for you guys.
it is. It is, especially because we're so close to the capital that, we have neighbors, sending messages saying, can you lend us some baby clothes? We have a mom here whose husband just got deported. She's all alone and has a 3-month-old baby,
Yeah,
and it's like, oh my gosh.
yeah,
Kids, we even have a group that they'll say, there's ice at the school, don't come to the school. Like, this is how bad
so
it's gotten that
scary.
our elementary schools, the parents are warning each other, don't come to the school, ice is present, it's really, really sad. It's
Yeah.
really, really sad.
We
Um,
me and one of my friends were talking about what would we do to help our friends if they developed something like ICE, which Nigel Farage, who is the head of the Reform Party, wants to do. They want to follow in Trump's footsteps. And so we were talking about, how do we help our friends stay safe, and what can we do to protect them? So, in terms of being like, guys, don't leave your homes. You don't need to go out. We got that.
mhm,
We got it.
mhm,
We'll go out. We'll
mhm,
get whatever you need. You give us a
mhm.
list. You stay safe so that you can't risk being targeted. If that happens, hopefully it won't.
Happen.
Just praying. We've got a party called the Green Party, which
Okay.
they have always been like hippies that no one took seriously. They just cared about the environment and stuff, and no one really paid attention to them. And now their new leader has made it very clear that yes, the environment's important. Yes, they care about that, but right now there are way more important issues that we need to be dealing with. And he seems like he could be a really good candidate for prime
Mm,
minister. So we're hoping that
yeah.
he will win, but just got to wait and see. It's all a waiting game,
Right.
isn't it? So thank you all for watching. Thank you, DeAnne, for joining me. 1, 2, 3, or 4.
One.
Okay, so you have got the 4 of Pentacles. I don't know how well you can see that.
Oh yeah.
It's reversed, which is greediness, possessiveness, stinginess, overspending, and self-protection.
Oh, wow.
So I would read that as there's maybe somebody around you with the greediness and the possessiveness, and that you need to focus on your self-protection.
Okay.
That's how I would read that. Okay, and then I have got the Ace of Wands, which is also reversed. I'm always pulling reversed cards. Delays, lack of motivation, lack of energy, lack of passion, weighed down, and boredom. Oh dear. Not a good week to look forward to.
I know.